Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Issei Awakens Legendary Sacred Gear Part 2. Before I start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like this video and also share this video with your friends. I have created my other videos playlist, there you can watch my all videos easily, check out as well. Let's start this video. It's now coming to summer break at Kuoh Academy and Issei is looking forward to it and has plans sorted in place. While looking, a confident Kiba comes over and asks what he has planned for summer. Hey, Issei, got any plans for the summer break? Asked Kiba. Yeah, I got a few things planned. Hopefully, I will visit a shrine I used to go to with my grandparents when I was younger. Said Issei. Oh, that's awesome. I am going to a training camp with the club I am in, which will be intense. Says Kiba, knowing he will be in the underworld. Friendly. What club are you in and what does it like? Asked Issei. I'm in the occult research club, or ORC for short. We talk about stories of yokai and other supernatural related stuff. Says Kiba. That's interesting, so basically, your training camp is like exploring known sites of the supernatural, for example? Asked Issei. I'm pretty much, but I'm also hoping to do some sword training in my spare time. Said Kiba. Well, if you train on your surroundings, not just your ears, primarily focus on smell, that should help out a lot. If you struggle to find the balance, use a blindfold to block your sight so you can only listen to the other two senses. If you want to focus on the scent changes, try some earplugs to block out the sound. This should maximize your scent senses. Says Issei. It's worth a try. I never really thought in that way, I was always taught to try and do it without those. Said Kiba. Yeah, that is the best way, but I see your struggle to focus on everything. You only see what's in front of you with your eyes. I suggest bringing the other senses to the same level so you don't have to focus on the eyes as they can deceive you. Think back to when we had a friendly spar at the kendo club. I managed to trick your eyes and get you from behind. Says Issei. I tried as I want to get better and hopefully show my teacher how much I have improved. Said Kiba. You have my cell number, so if you need advice, I am always happy to help and I also love to see your teacher sometimes. I sense we get on well. Says Issei as he smiles. If I see him, I will tell him he will probably love to meet you. Said Kiba, smiling back. Well, I guess it's summer break after this Friday. Says Issei. School bell rings for the end of the day. As Kiba and Issei pack up their things, he notices someone with white hair and blue eyes staring at him in a trance. Issei was confused but soon moved out of the way as he heard someone shout his name and another name called Hanakai Momo to head to the student council room. Issei was left wondering what was happening as he noticed the girl staring at him, moving towards him, then bowing. Hi Issei. I am sorry if I startled you when I looked at you because Kaichu mentioned how nice you were to help out around the school. Said Momo. Ah, I didn't know she told anyone about me. Says Issei while turning red from blushing. Well, my name is Hanakai Momo, but please call me Momo. We better head off to the council room before we get lectured by Kaichu for being late. Said Momo while giving cute giggles. Trust me, and I don't fancy that happening. Issei giggles back at the reminder. While the pair walked to the student council, they talked and got to know each other quite well. Little did he know that Momo was trying to flirt, but Issei was not noticing, which she thought was cute as he blushed on simple things. As the pair reached the door, they knocked on it and waited for an answer. Knock knock. The door opened and Tsubaki said to come in and gave Issei a small smile as he walked in. Momo went to her position to start her council duties, which Issei noticed and was in awe as he never saw another student council member. Then Issei looked to the front where Sona was and she used her hand movements to suggest sitting down in the chair opposite her. Sona Kaichu, have I done something wrong for you to call me here? Asks Issei. No, Issei, don't worry, it's nothing terrible. I just wanted to introduce you to the rest of my peerage and head into the training dimension as it will be the last one till after the summer holidays are finished. As you know, Tsubaki is my queen, Momo here is my bishop, Tsubasa Yura is my rook, Tomo Meguri is my knight, and Ryakusaka is my other bishop. Says Sona. He bows to everyone as he enters. Nice to meet you all if you don't know me. I am Issei Hayoto, and I hope we can get along together. Said Issei. In Sona's training room, Sona and Tsubaki are to the side watching all their peerage members train, and Issei is currently practicing some elemental magic. While he was doing that, he watched Sona's knight while noticing the speed increase because of the knight piece trait and was amused and wondered if he could spar with her. Sona, do you think I can spar with Tomo for a bit? Asks Issei. If you like, she would love someone else to be able to help her train with the sword and maybe knight traits. Tomo, would you care to have a sparring match with Issei? He might be able to give you sword training and a few other pointers. Says Sona. Sure Kaichu, I would be happy to have a lot of fun. Says Tomo while smiling. Okay, you're up then. Issei, let us see what you can do against a knight speed. Said Sona. I think you're underestimating me a bit there, Kaichu, but this will be fun. says Issei with a massive grin. Issei and Tomo get into a stance, ready to fight, and Sona counts down from 3 to start the sparring fight. 3.2.1. Go. Shouted Sona. Issei was the first to move with blinding speed. Tomo had it hard to track at first, till she spotted him coming in from the side. She suddenly went to get her sword ready to counter, but was then hit from behind. Then the figure that she was so to the side disappeared and was behind her. Meanwhile, Sona couldn't believe how quick he moved and was also able to vanish, leaving feints misleading Tomo before he got her from behind, but only tapped her to warn her. Now Tomo was trying to find Issei again, but this time she managed to block the attack from the side, but didn't notice she got pushed back a distance. Then suddenly Issei shouts an attack move stunning her. Shouted Issei. Tomo was paralyzed and couldn't even use magic to break free and was a sitting duck. Then suddenly with a thud, Tomo was on the floor with a sword pointed at her. Good match there, Tomo. Says Issei as he offers her his hand to bring her up from the floor. Thanks, Issei. I can't believe how fast you are even without being reincarnated into a devil. Said Tomo. Because of the training I learned from my master after my granddad fell ill, he pushed me to the limits, and even now, he can fight toe-to-toe even with him, which is fun. Says Issei. Wow, can you give me some pointers as I felt like I couldn't even focus on you? Says Tomo. Training your senses to the max is the best way, as the eyes can deceive you. I even mentioned this to Kiba, which is funny. Also, I think you need to do some more stamina work to make full use of your night piece as speed is essential. So how about doing some laps around here and see how long you can go before you need to have a break, then keep doing it and see if you can beat that record. Said Issei. Thanks, Issei. I will do some laps now to improve my speed, then work on my senses afterward. Said Tomo. Issei, that move you did was similar to the storm arrow move you used on me that time? Asked Sona. Yes, but without water, just basically a bolt of stunning lightning using the sword's blade to release it. I also use other variants, which can do some severe damage to confuse them depending on the situation. Says Issei. I see, so you base your moves on different strategies then? Or the type of battle you are in? Asked Sona. A bit of both, like using the move I did mainly for spar use as it does minor damage and trains whoever is fighting to be more mindful if not attuned to the surroundings. Says Issei. I think Tomo learned a lot from that and the advice you gave her will hopefully help her out, even if it's just a bit. Said Sona. That's the plan. If it's okay, Sona, I need to head home now and see if my Oba-san is okay. Says Issei. Yeah, that's okay. We are pretty much done for today. Thank you again, Issei, and hopefully, we can do this after summer. Said Sona. Issei is now walking home after the training session with Sona and her peerage. He enjoyed it so much that he thought maybe he could join, but would wait and see if Sona would ask. That was good training. I even got to use the thunder slash move I've wanted to try with the sword. Says Issei. Yeah, it worked wonderfully, shame you never tried the crescent water splash, though. Said Ryujin. Well, I was hoping he used the hell flare slash. That's maybe one of my favorite moves for me. Said Drake while smirking. You would say that Drake uses your element and domination power. Says Ryujin just facepalms. Well, I hope to try their moves soon, as I do want to adjust to it, but Drake, you know I got to be careful with your powers, so they do realize I have you as well, not just yet, at least. Says Issei while laughing. I know, the partner, I just can't wait for the big reveal when it does happen. Says Drake smirking again. True, their jaws would probably drop then, knowing Sona she will bite my head off because of it. Said Issei as he laughed his head off. Issei was now at his door when his grandma opened it, but also had a suitcase and boxes behind her, which left Issei confused and hoped it was not what he thought was happening. Ah, Issei, glad you're back. I got some news for you, but didn't panic, okay, just listen to me, okay. Says Issei's grandma. Okay? But this is weird even on your part, Oba-san. Said a confused Issei. Karate chop head. Ouch. Shouted Issei. Well, you deserved that for being cheeky. Anyways, I won tickets to a hot spring resort, but also, it's the same place I am moving to, and no, Issei, you are not moving. I am leaving this house to you. Says Issei's grandma. But why, Oba-san, have I done something wrong? Asks Issei. No, dear, it's just I need a place where I can relax, and also I own one of the resorts there now, so it would be nice to inspect and see if anything needs improving. But don't worry about bills for the house as everything is paid for, and I will send money to you monthly, so you have plenty to get food, etc. Said Issei's grandma. Will you come back to visit? Asked Issei. Maybe, but I don't know as I am not as young as I used to be. I left you a couple of gifts inside that your grandpa and dad wanted you to have. You must protect and look after them as they are unique. Says Issei's grandma. Taxi beep. It looks like my taxi has arrived. Look after yourself, my dear Issei, and don't worry about me. I have that lovely charm still on me. Said Issei's grandma as she kissed Issei on the cheek. Oba-san. Please send me your address so I can visit you sometime when I am free. said Issei as he waved goodbye to her. Issei was still in shock that his Oba-san had left, but remembered that she had left him something, so he went to find out where they were. He went into his bedroom to see two things wrapped up with a note with Issei's name on it. He unwrapped one item to find the divine bow called Aim no Makakoyumi, then opened the other to find the Futsunamatama sword, which was used by the Shinto god of thunder, gasping in shock. How the hell did they get hold of these two legendary weapons? As far as I read, the Futsunamatama sword was in the shrine unless that was a fake to protect the actual location, maybe. Either way, I better store these in another dimension to save them from anyone. Well, I guess I get myself something to eat, then go to sleep for the next day at school, says Issei. The next day, Issei wakes up in an empty house and feels lonely, goes to take a shower, gets ready for school, and makes himself breakfast before heading out. When he walks out and starts going down the street toward school, he runs into Sona and Tsubaki and gives them a nice bow before entering the classroom. Need to make sure I got all my stuff packed ready for my trip to Amaterasu Shrine this summer for some intense training and hopefully catch up, thought Issei. Issei is now sitting under the tree near the kendo club for his lunch break, then suddenly senses someone coming close and feels familiar. Then his eyes get covered and he hears a female voice. Guess who? She laughs. Momo-san? Says Issei. How did you guess so easily? Asked Momo, giving off a cute pout. I can smell your perfume and it's lovely, says Issei. Thanks, Issei. By the way, Kaichu asked me to tell you that she would like to see you in the council room after school if that's okay, said Momo as she instantly blushed from Issei's words. Yeah, sure. Do you know what it's about? Asks Issei. No clue. To be honest, maybe ask what you are doing this summer, said Momo. School bell rings for the end of the day. Knock knock. The student council door opens and Issei is led in by Tsubaki and sits on the seat opposite Sona and sees her with a magic circle near her ears and a severe expression. This looks serious. Something bad must be going off, thought Issei. As the magic circle disappears, Sona focuses on Issei and cleans her glasses before speaking. Hi Issei-kun, sorry for this surprise call, but I need your help. I just received an urgent call to dispatch a stray devil and would love it if we could work together on it as it seems to have the ability to hide its aura from us to locate them, says Sona. Stray devil? What a lost devil if you don't mind explaining, asks Issei while tilting his head to the side with a floating question mark above it. A stray devil is a devil that has abandoned its master or has killed them and goes insane in power and kills anyone it sees, including humans, said Sona. Okay, I will love to help protect innocent people from harm. Any idea where you have last seen it? Asks Issei. The last sighting was near a construction site east of here, said Sona. The same direction as my home. That's not a problem. How would you like me to notify you if I find them? Asks Issei. I will hand you a summon paper to make it easier to alert me. Just channel some energy into it and it should alert me and be able to teleport to you as quickly as I can, said Sona as she passed Issei a summoning paper. Thanks, Sona-kun. I'll head out now and see if I can sense it with my dot. It shouldn't be able to hide from that easily, and once located, I will alert you as quickly as possible, as long as it doesn't get to me first, says Issei. Thanks, Issei-kun, good luck and stay safe, said Sona. After leaving the council room, Issei now walked eastward towards a construction site while expanding his senjutsu abilities to try and sense the stray devil until suddenly he felt an attack coming from the side. Just narrowly missing him, he quickly uses snare traps to slow his attacker down enough to channel some energy to the paper he got from Sona to alert them. While Sona gets ready to join, Issei is still battling the stray, dodging all the strikes while delivering some himself. Lightning wave as it connects, it slowed the stray devil, but didn't lose its ability, which shocked Issei as it's a first. Must be stronger than Sona's peerage for its abilities still available, thought Issei. It's time to get serious and call forth Futsunamatama out of the dimension, thought Issei. Flash of attacks now making explosion noises as Sona's peerage soon comes from their magic summoning circle ready to fight, and to hear the explosions, the look of fear comes across them, hoping Issei is okay. As they approach, they see Issei standing toe-to-toe with the stray with injuries to the stray and odd scratches on Issei while holding his sword instance. Tsubaki stares in shock upon seeing the sword Issei is holding. He's holding a Futsunamatama sword. How is that possible? I thought that sword was protected in a shrine and hidden from view, says Tsubaki. I'm guessing it's a fake to preserve its actual location, but how Issei got it is a mystery. I will have to ask him, said Sona. As the peerage staring in awe at the sword and Issei battle, the stray noticed their presence and sent an attack towards them, which Issei shouted another move to protect them. Water penetration shield, shouted Issei. The water shield covers all the group and penetrates the move into nothing. The stray is now angry and goes for Issei once he moves and manages to stab him near his heart. Slowly bleeding while the stray looks at him with an evil grin, tends to shout one more move to destroy them finally. Hellflare wave, shouted Issei. And yes, I got Hellflare from reincarnated into a slim he. Within a second, as the sword stabs the floor, a wave of flames suddenly makes its way towards the stray devil and turns them into dust. Issei. Quickly heal him. Shouted Sona. Issei, seems to me your heart is damaged. If you want to survive, we can replace it with the heart of a dragon. Said Raijin. Please do what you can. You will still need to find out how you got put into gear. Said Issei. I will start the transfer, Raijin, why don't we replace some other damaged organs too? Said Drake. Okay, let's work together. Said Raijin. Partner, once we replace your damaged organs, you will be more dragon than human and will receive more power and senses from us, but you will also be more vulnerable to dragon slayer weapons. Said Drake. Okay. Says Issei. As Issei lays unconscious, Sona's bishops manage to heal the wounds on the outside, then Sona teleports Issei and herself with Tsubaki to his home to put him on his bed and watch over him. Tsubaki looked at the Futsunamatama sword with the tail for the first time, seeing it in person. Issei suddenly stirs and slowly wakes up, rubbing his eyes. How am I home? Asked a confused Issei. Tsubaki and I brought you here. Where is your grandma? Asked Sona. Yesterday, she left for a hot spring resort and left me the house and some treasures to protect. Said Issei. Futsunamatama sword, you mean? Asked Sona. That is another relic as well. Where is the sword? Asked Issei. It's here, don't worry. We guessed there was a reason you had it shocking simultaneously. Said Sona. Yeah, I was shocked, as he gave a slight laugh. Ouch, man, that hurts when I laugh. Says Issei. Well, I'm not surprised you did take a nasty hit. My bishops managed to heal what we could, but the wounds inside healed themselves. Asked Sona. Addy, mine and the other partners doing as we don't want our host to die just like that, he is now more dragon than human. Says Raijin. What organs did you have to replace? Asked a serious worried Sona. Well, the main damaged organ was his heart, but there were a few others as well, so now he will have more dragon abilities as in senses and draconic powers. It would be best if he could get trained by another dragon kind to use them to the fullest, but most I know are gone or hiding. Says Raijin. There's a couple in the underworld, but sadly I cannot bring Issei as he isn't a devil, and it takes forever to get permission from the underworld government to allow it. Said Sona. It's okay, Sona-san. I got somewhere to train this summer, but I would love to meet dragons that can help in the future if possible. Said Issei. Well, I see what I can do. Issei, what is it you want to do once you finish high school? Asked Sona. That's a bit random, but I thought of being a teacher, maybe passing the knowledge I learned from my granddad and my master to others. Said Issei. Wow, a similar dream to mine as well. I want to be a teacher and make a school not just for the rich but for the poor and help them get a chance to join raiding games. Anyways, Issei, you better get some rest and thank you for helping kill that stray, even though we didn't have the opportunity to help you fight it. Says Sona. It's okay, Sona-san, at least I got to show you some other moves of mine. Says Issei as he smiles, puts Futsunamatama into another dimension. Summer holidays. Issei is now traveling to Amaterasu Shrine to hopefully get more training and learn more attacks and defense magic. On approach, he senses Amaterasu and Susanoo and another there. Issei is here, Susanoo and Tsukiyomi. Said Amaterasu. I sense a familiar presence in him. Asked Tsukiyomi. Yeah, he holds two sacred gears, one of Raijin and Dreg. Said Amaterasu. Raijin, how was he put in sacred gear and the heavenly dragon Dreg? Wow, that's such power. Said Tsukiyomi. Yeah, I know, right. However, according to Raijin, he has no idea how he got put into a sacred gear. We are currently trying to find out. Said Amaterasu. That's a disturbing thought. To get trapped without notice, he must have been either a strong individual or a group with combined magic ceiling to do such a thing. Says Tsukiyomi. Yeah, I thought that, but it's who and why that concerns me. As Raijin is quite a respected dragon that shares its powers and wisdom. Says Amaterasu. I agree, but my question is, why has Issei come here? He seems more dragon than human now from the sense of his aura. Said Susanoo. He has come to do some training over his summer holidays and asked for assistance. Says Amaterasu. Oh, interesting. I will be happy to help out, and I am pretty interested in knowing him from all your talk about him. Says Tsukiyomi as she teases her. I couldn't help it when such an innocent kid talked to me without even knowing who I was, and calling me Ni-san made my heart skip a beat. Says Amaterasu while blushing. I must admit he learns quite well and soaks up anything you teach him. He even outmatches me sometimes. Now it's properly scary. Says Susanoo. Now I'm interested. I might be able to see how well he can manipulate the water element and teach him my most potent barrier spells. Says Tsukiyomi giving off an evil grin. He knows all my barrier spells, so more the merrier, I say, and his water element is vital considering he has Raijin inside him. Also, with Dreg, his fire element is on another level. He can even change the way his flames are as well. Said Amaterasu. Interesting. Maybe we can contact Raijin sometimes and see if we can get him to teach him more lightning and thunder magic. Says Tsukiyomi. Yeah, maybe, but you know what he is like. He won't do it without getting something in return. Said Amaterasu. True, I remember when he tried to get me to let him grope my boobs, I had to slap him, was proper annoying. Says Tsukiyomi. Not taken, it's pretty lovely talking about his adventures as a heavenly dragon than with his other hosts. Said Raijin. I see. Well, Issei. Are you ready to train hard, as I will put you through your paces and say your goodbyes to Sona before heading off? Said Tannen. Hi, thank you for bringing me here, Sona-san and Tsubaki-san. Will it be okay to meet up with you before going back to Kuoh, as I wouldn't know how to teleport back? Asked Issei as he rubbed the back of his head. Not a problem, Issei-kun. We will be able to discuss more once your training is all done, as we will need to discuss your roles as other things. Said Sona. I look forward to it and thank you again. I am ready to go when you are, Tannen. Is there a way to get my dragon wings out? Asked Issei. Yes, focus on your back and feel your dragon wings expand. Said Tannen. As Issei concentrated on his back, 4 dragon wings came out with crimson and bluish scales and were western dragon wings. Issei feels the weight and works how to work them and just looks at them in awe. Even Tannen was looking at them and giving off a smirk. He's going to be a strong dragon, I can tell already. Thought Tannen. Issei is currently training with Tannen to use his new dragon abilities, including partial, and is showing progress to Tannen's amusement. Issei also trained with other dragons, such as ice and thunder dragons, to further his stamina. Hey, Tannen, do you think I will be able to transform into a full dragon, or would I need to be completely turned into a dragon? Asked a curious Issei. Well, you can try, as it's a similar process to your partial, but I think it would require all your body to be turned into a dragon's. Is that what you are thinking of doing? Asked Tannen. Well, I don't know the evil pieces I received from Surziches. I imagined them turning into dragons instead of devil, as I wanted to help bring back the dragons. Said Issei. Ah, that's interesting. How come you want to restore the dragon's race as they were feared and hunted down? Asked Tannen. Yes, dragons were hunted down as they were feared, but where I am from, we also respected dragons and treated some as gods, which shows you that not all areas were scared of them. Said Issei. That is interesting, as there was only one evil dragon that Susanoo slew, if I recall. Said Tannen. The only thing that's a mystery was why Raijin was sealed, as he's a respected dragon. It's something I need to research more. It was also weird how my family was targeted when I was young. Maybe it was connected. Said Issei. Let's carry on with your training, Issei, as you get used to the dragon. Now to work more on your reflex and train you to fight close quarters combat, even with fire. Said Tannen. Okay, Tannen, let's carry on. I don't know how much longer I have before returning to the human world, so I may as well get as much training as possible. Said Issei. But Sona, Lady Citri would like to see you in the living quarters, please, said the young maid. Okay, Luna-san, I will see Ka-san. Please bring some refreshments to us, said Sona. Yes, Lady Sona, I will do it at once, says Luna as she bows. Sona then walks along the corridor of the mansion of the House of Citri and wonders what her mother wants. I wonder if Ka-san wanted to talk about my peerage training or how school is going, thought Sona. Sona then reached the door to the living quarters, knocked on the door, and waited for an answer from her mother. Enter, shouted Lady Citri. Sona then opened the door, bowed to her mother, and walked to the sofa opposite her. Once she sat down, Luna the maid entered with refreshments on a tray and laid it out on the table opposite Sona and Lady Citri. Thanks, Luna. You may go now and resume your duties, said Sona. Luna then bows and leaves the room to go to Sona and her mother to talk. Sona, my dear, I guess you wondered why I summoned you here to talk. Asked Lady Citri. Yes, Ka-san, I wondered, but I think it's about how training and school are going, says a curious Sona. Half correct, dear, I heard about this boy that beat you in a serious chess game and wants to know about him, as he might be your husband-to-be, stated Lady Citri. You mean you heard about Ice-kun? Who told you about him? Asked Sona. I think I hit the nail on the head if you call him that. Sona, and to answer your question, I have my resources. As you know, said Lady Citri. Ka-san, shouted and embarrassed Sona. Ice-kun is friendly and intelligent and has also been turned into a high-class devil thanks to Surziches, but his pieces don't turn them into devils, but dragons, which is different. Said Sona. Dragons, you said. So basically, he's turned into a devil-dragon hybrid? Asked Lady Citri. Yes, Ka-san is currently training with Tannen-san. If you meet to bring him here for you to chat to him if you would like, said Sona with a blush. Interesting, thought Lady Citri. Yes, can you bring him? I'm sure your father would love to know the boy who stole your heart. Smileys Lady Citri. Okay, Ka-san, I will go and fetch him from his training. I hope you see what I see in him, smiled Sona while she used a magic circle to teleport to Issei. Back to Dragon Mountain. Issei has a break after another intense training with Tannen and other dragons. He wanted to ask Tannen something to see what he thought. "Hey Tannen, I got a question for you," asked Issei. "What's that hatchling, may I ask?" said Tannen. "Well, what I know, the high-class devils, etc., have a bit of territory, correct? And since your goal is to preserve the dragon race, and I want to also help in that end, I wondered if Surziches will let me help out in your area?" asked Issei cautiously. "That is true, but my other goal was to protect the dragon fruit that we survive on, but have more people to help. It's something we will have to ask Surziches when the time is right, but for the time being, I say that's the end of your training for the time being, as I know you're a lot stronger now, and the rest of your path is up to you," said Tannen. "Thanks, Tannen, I will ask Surziches when the time is right, but for the time being, I will help out the heiress of Citri and Gremory with the city of Kuoh. To keep a hidden balance," said Issei while smiling. "It's good to hear Issei-kun," said Sona, just coming through a magic circle. "Sona, is everything okay?" asked Issei. "Yes, Issei-kun, all is okay. Don't panic while laughing. I came to pick you up as someone would like to see and chat with you," said Sona. "Ah, okay, thank you, Tannen, for your training, and I hope we can do more business and training again soon," said Issei while walking to Sona. "You're most welcome, hatchling, and it will be a pleasure, since us dragons got to stick together," said Tannen as he gave a smile and laugh. Issei and Sona soon disappeared through a magic circle and arrived at the mansion of Citri, where Sona's peerage was awaiting Sona's arrival. "Welcome back, Sona," says Sona's peerage. "Thank you, everyone. You can now rest and do some homework if you have any to do, as training will continue tomorrow," says Sona. "Hi," says Sona's peerage before leaving. "Okay, time for you to meet my parents, Issei," said Sona while blushing. "Wait, who wants to see and speak to me?" Is this about me beating you in chess and the possibility of marrying you?" asks Issei nervously. "Yes, I believe so, but I also think they want to know more about you. That's all I know. They were looking forward to seeing you, even though my sister, who is the other Mao with Surziches, wanted to see you as well. She's a bit overprotective, sorry about that," said Sona. "That's okay. I can understand, as they want to make sure everything is okay for their cute and beautiful daughter," says Issei. "Issei, thank you anyways. We better get going. They wonder why we are taking so long," said Sona as she blushed from the response. As Issei and Sona walked through the corridors of the Citri mansion, Issei admired all the art and water features inside, as she had never seen such a wonderful sight. They arrived at the door to the living quarters where Lady Citri and Lord Citri were and breathed in to relax before entering. "Knock, knock, enter," said Lady Citri. Sona entered with Issei behind her while both bowed and moved to the sofa. "Oka-san, Oda-san, this is Issei Hyodo," said Sona. "Ah, welcome, Issei-san," said Lady Citri and Lord Citri. While Issei was introducing himself to Lady and Lord Citri, going through all the details of how he met Sona and how he became who he is today, even explained what happened to his parents and being brought up by his grandparents, which has brought him being on his own, to which Lady Citri and Lord Citri was going to shock Issei by what they were going to suggest next. "Issei, that's such a sad thing to hear about your parents, but also able to carry on living for them. Under the guidance of your grandparents, I think they did a lovely job and would know your parents will be happy to see who you have become by being such an honest and loving person. And therefore, I would like to propose something for you," said Lady Citri. "Thank you, Lady Citri. I know they would be proud, as I am proud, as I hope to carry their dream, but what is it you like to do?" asked Issei. "I know we won't be able to replace them, but how about you call us your mother and father, as you will soon be our son-in-law if you go with a marriage proposal," said Lady Citri. "Well, that would be an honor, and would it be okay if we get married when we are a bit older, as I think it's too early at present?" said Issei. "That seems reasonable. How about we make a marriage contract to get married at about 20? said Lord Citri. "That sounds fair to me, Oda-san," said Issei. "Oh dear, he said it is happy to say mother as well, Issei-san," said Lady Citri. "Oka-san," said Issei nervously. Lady Citri was now all giggling as they got a new son into the family, while Sona was embarrassed at the sight she was saying while looking at Issei. He was blushing too hard. "We have a guest room you can use. Issei-san, please treat this as your own home as well. Sona dear, please show him to the room and have a good rest, Issei-san," said Lady and Lord Citri. "Okay, thank you, Oda-san and Oka-san," said Issei while walking out with Sona. "Ice-kun, I am sorry you had to see your mother and father display like that. It is embarrassing, but they are delighted," said Sona. "Thanks, Sona-kun, it's okay. It's nice to see these kinds of things, as I never got to experience it with my parents apart from my grandparents. Anyways, care to chat inside or have a friendly chess game, maybe?" asked Issei. "I would love to get to know each other a bit more. How does that sound?" "Ice-kun," says Sona, flirting a bit. Issei started blushing at that remark and brought Sona in and started playing a friendly game of chess while chatting, getting to know each other much better, to the point when it was Sona's time to go and she stood at the door with Issei near her. She blushed when she decided to kiss him on the lips. It shocked Issei at first, but he reprimanded it back to her before saying good night and thus ending the day. Issei's mindscape. Issei's currently in his mindscape with Drag and Raijin, presently learning some of the skills of Drags to use the boosted gear more efficiently, and even introduced Issei to some of the past hosts that could help him even learn skills that they mastered, even hearing their stories. Two of the most robust hosts were the most interesting, Elsha, the strongest female host, and Belzerd, the strongest male host. He quickly learned Elsha likes to tease and was hugging Issei to the point his arm was encased in her breasts, which he ended up going bright red with intense blush. Why are you so embarrassed? All I am doing is hugging you from behind, causing Elsha to pout. That's because you keep doing it with your breasts out. I am a teenager. Remember, I am not used to getting this thing, said Issei while blushing hard. Haha, she did similar things to me at first, then she decided to go fully naked to try and tease me, said Belzerd. Can it stop now, please? I thought you were supposed to teach me something, not try and tease me, says Issei while his hands hold his head. Okay, I am sorry Issei. I just can't help it as you're so cute, but what would you like to learn or know as I can teach you as much as I know, says Elsha while pouting. Well, I think learning some history and maybe other subjects if that's okay as I have a lot of skills and would like to master them more before gaining more to worry about, says Issei, rubbing his back head. Sorry to interrupt Issei, but someone is at your door, so you will need to wake up now, said Drake. Knock knock. Come in, said Issei, finally awaking from his sleep and mindscape. Hi Issei, Sona asked me to fetch you for breakfast if you want to join us, Momo said. Ah, thanks. I'll be there in a bit then, says Issei as he gets out of bed, revealing his toned body to Momo, who blushed redder than Surzich's hair. Okay, already, Momo, thanks for waiting, said Issei while following her to the dining room. Ah, welcome, Issei-san. Breakfast is ready in a few. Take a seat with the rest of Sona's peerage, says Lady Citri, while waiting for the maids to bring the food to the table. Ah, thank you, Oka-san, well blushing is not used to calling someone's mother blushing. Is there a way to talk to Surzich's Samar Grafia-san as I need to ask them about something asked by Issei? Sure, we can sort a meeting out for you if it is urgent or whenever they are free, says Lord Citri with a curious look on his face. Nothing serious. I need to ask him not to tell Ria-san about me being a high devil, as I want to be a hidden third tall devil in the background for assistance if you get me, says Issei. Interesting, so basically, you want to be hidden, and only people will know there is the Sona and her peerage in the Moes, said Lord Citri. Yeah, the other point is cause I have not got any peerage members. Still, before I scout for potential members, I want to study how a high devil class behaves, and need to know which I hope I can get help from Sona-kun, Tsubaki-kun, and Grafia-san if possible, as then I will have all aspects possible, said Issei. Oh, now that's interesting. I think that will be a wise call, and I will see if I can arrange something with Surzich's, maybe see if he will come over, so Sona dear can you help Issei with his endeavors for his task as well? To help you with any training, says Lord Citri. Of course, Oda-san and I think Ice-kun already knows how to help me with my peerage as we were discussing it when I showed him to his room, said Sona. Training room, so Ice-kun, what's the plan for training today? I am still confused about why you ask us to do a sprint course like what's at school, said Sona with a confused look. Well, the first thing is we are going to do running to boost everyone's stamina, including yours, Sona-kun and Tsubaki-kun, as you need to be able to escape quickly when forced into a situation cornered. Still, it will not be that easy as I learned a spell from Tannen-san when he trained me on my stamina to enhance my dragon abilities. So once you are all dressed in gym wear, I will modify them with this spell according to your pieces, and once you get used to them, they will be made harder each day, says Issei with determination. Okay, everyone changed into gym wear, and let us start Ice's training plan to help us, says Sona. Hi. Says, everyone. 20 minutes later. Okay, Issei, everyone is all dressed in our outfits. Now what? Asks Sona. This grins Issei. Suddenly all the girls felt weight being added to them, and they all nearly fell as they didn't expect it. Issei. Shouted everyone. As Issei was shrugging and laughing simultaneously, sorry, couldn't resist. As you are aware now, I added weight to your clothes. Everyone has different weights depending on your nasty piece, so I will tell you what everyone has to do to make it fair, Tsubasa. Since you are the central rook, your weight is 500 pounds, since your trait should let you handle that much, Tomo. Since you are the leading knight, yours is 250 pounds, Ria and Momo, yours is 100 due to being bishops. Tsubaki as queen you have every ability as the others, but since I know you to be last defense, I have given you 150 pounds and Sona, you have the same amount as Tsubaki, as you both are the most at the back, so you need to build your stamina up the most from the beginning, said Issei. So what weight do you get, Ice-kun? As I am guessing you are running with us, asked Sona with a curious head tilt. Me, well, I got the most due to my dragon trait. With the additional stamina from my piece, I can handle a lot more, so I will be running around 750 pounds, okay, so let's start the training. We are doing this for an hour, by the way, then we are taking a break, then we will be doing other exercises like push-ups, etc. said Issei. After 3 hours, everyone took an extended break to let the muscle relax a bit and have some healing sports drinks to help out. They will soon start the next part of the training, which boosts their traits. So Ice-kun, what's next on the agenda after we rested, and by the way, you're evil making us run with this kind of weight, said Sona, staring daggers at Issei. Next, we are enhancing the peace traits, so I am pairing some of you against each other, so you are against Tsubaki-kun, Momo against Ria, and Tsubasa against Tomo, as I want to see where each other is at and work on there, said Issei. Ice-kun, may I ask how you know each of these traits, and what we can probably handle as you didn't think you know this as only just becoming a king yourself? Asked Sona. I did a bit of studying last night before I went to sleep, so I had a basic idea of what piece I could handle. Since I know you're more of a taction than a heavy hitter, I needed to focus on getting your stamina and other defenses up to give you an edge against such things, said Issei. Wow, so what would you classify yourself as out of curiosity? Asked Sona. Well, I am a bit of a taction myself, but I am also a heavy hitter, so I am basically in the middle of both as I would counter, then use force if needed, said Issei. That does make sense as I saw what you could do myself, and you use your magic wisely, unlike my best friend group, says Sona with a palm on her face. Oh, is she that bad, said Issei as he laughed. Oh, believe it, and she doesn't take training very seriously and is sadly spoiled too much, but each to their own, I guess, says Sona. I am sure she takes it seriously when dealing with a low blow. If not, she shouldn't be worthy of being able to handle a peerage till she can prove herself, said Issei. I guess you have to keep an eye on her, then Issei-san, said a mysterious person. As Issei jumps from the sudden voice. Ah, Surziches-sama, sorry for being rude. I know Ria-san is your sister and all, said Issei, still having a heart attack from the sudden jump scare. I am happy someone can say that considering you've only been a high devil for 2 days now, and hello, Sona, I see you and your peerage are training, well, said Surziches while laughing. Hello Surziches-san, and yes, Issei has been helping us out a lot and given us a nice schedule to work on. In the meantime, I will start the next part of the training for you, Ice-kun, so you can have your talk with Surziches-san, said Sona. Thank you, Sona-kun, but make sure everyone has rested beforehand, said Issei. Will do, says Sona while smiling. So Issei-san, I heard from Lord Citri you wanted to ask me about something. Said Surziches. Yes, I wondered if you could keep my status as quiet until needed, as me being new and suddenly helping out as a hidden helper in Kuoh would probably cause some headache in politics, no doubt, says Issei. Well, that is true. Does this include my adorable sister Issei-san? Surziches replied with a sad-looking face. Yes, I would say so, as no doubt if she knew she would use me to do most of the stray devil encounters or tasks she would think would be too much for her, said Issei. Well, actual plus, it will prove if she is worthy in your eyes to handle her territory and peerage, said Surziches with a concerned look. Yes and no, I just want to be there if something goes wrong. Either Sona-kun or Ria-san needs a backup plus, if you think of it, I heard from Sona-kun that Ria's is engaged to a riser phoenix, and if he is like what I heard, I might be able to help out in that area, if push comes to shove, said Issei. Oh, you mean like you find he is unsuitable even if it was an arranged marriage, said Surziches with a happy-looking face. Yes, as I know, you don't want your sister to be used as a prize just to be shown off. If someone got to marry another heir, they need to be able to act accordingly. I know I only just became a high devil and not a full devil like yourself and other heirs. Still, I want to work as you would expect me to be, says Issei with determination. I now can see why Sona-san has fallen for you so hard even if she hides it, and I am glad to have a loyal servant and friend, if I must say, a little brother, winked Surziches while giving a slight smirk. Little brother? What do you mean, Surziches-sama? Asked Issei. I am married to Serapho Leviathan, the older sister of Sona, so basically, you are my brother-in-law, smiled Surziches. Oh wow, I'm gaining a second big family, smiled Issei. Anyway, I also heard you would like some training from Graphia, and what kind of training you were thinking of, said Surziches. Well, I was hoping Graphia-san, as well as Sona-kun and Tsubaki-kun, be able to train me in ways of the Devil Society, especially high-class devil status, from how to do specific matches of the raiding game, to selecting the right piece for a person to a devil's contract duty if that's okay, said Issei. Oh, that wouldn't be a problem at all, and if you need help with getting a servant, I am happy to help out, but don't rush for servants as you can make the wrong choice if not careful, said Surziches. Oh, I know I am taking my time. I will most likely study before hunting for suitable members, says Issei. Thanks for watching this video. Part 2 is over. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. And also check out the playlist that I have created and enjoy. Link is in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.